What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Inside Post and our weekly episode for horse racing. This Friday, June 6th, we have the Belmont Stakes. For Friday graded stakes action, we have 6 graded stakes races on the card that we will be handicapping for you in this video. What a weekend, what a week of Saratoga racing we have for the Belmont Racing Festival. This is going to be fabulous racing all weekend. The weather right now, not looking the greatest, but we're going to have racing. And we're going to have horses competing against that we have wanted to see since probably early in the year or even from the past Breeders' Cup. And this is going to set up a amazing summer of some horse racing that we're going to be super excited about, and we cannot wait to kick off this Belmont weekend. So, post time 2:44, race 6. This is the Bed of Roses, a grade 2 stakes race in here for 4-year-old fillies and up. We are on the dirt for 7 furlongs, and we have two pretty good choices in here. We have number 3, Ways and Means, who's probably going to be the heavy favorite in here, currently 6-5. She's going to get bet hard in here from her third place finish in that Derby City Distaff, that grade 1 on Churchill Friday. Getting beat out by Copying in there, a fabulous horse that day. Just nobody was going to touch that horse. And even Hope Road looked really good in her race in that slop. So I think Ways and Means gets back. She's rightfully so the best horse in here right now. Flavion Pratt, Chad Brown, Clarovich Stables. We're getting 6-5 on this horse. Seems like really good money or really good value. To her inside, though, she's going to have another early speed runner in Scylla. This one, Joel Rosario Wilmot for Judemont Farms. Another one that comes out of that Derby City Distaff. A 96 speed figure in there and ran 4th. Again, to Copying, Ways and Means. And I think she comes in here, rightfully so, the second betting choice. But she's going to have to beat out Ways and Means, who is just looking phenomenal right now. Looking elsewhere, Justique or Miss Justify for a little bit of price play. But they are nowhere near the class of the field for Ways and Means or even Scylla right now. Possibly Justique coming from off the pace. Miss Justify going to come from off the pace as well. Both sitting at 12-5. Use those in your trifectas for a little bit of a value play, and even in an exacta with those top 2 horses to try to get a little bit of value to kick off these graded stakes. Race 9, we're going to the Ogden Phipps Stakes. This is a grade 1 stakes going 1 mile and 1/8 on the dirt, again for 4-year-old fillies. And probably the most competitive race on the card right now from what we've seen. We have number 3, Leslie's Rose for Todd Pletcher and Rad Ortiz getting the mount. And here comes out of that Vagrancy Stakes, Belmont at Aqueduct. Looks to be an early speed type horse in here. Currently sitting at 7-2. Yes, this is the horse that's been spanked all around by Torpedo Anna all last summer. So she's kind of getting away from her, coming in here and trying to find a little bit of relief outside of running against the big Grizzly. However, she's going to have to run against some really good horses that she has seen in the past, like Raging Sea, Candied, Randomized, all horses that look phenomenal yet again. Number 4, Raging Sea, 5-2 right now. Chad Brown, Flavion Pratt. Probably, I don't know. I think this one could be the favorite come post time. Coming out of that Latroin at Churchill Downs, winner in there on May 2nd. Just looked amazing in there, beating out Tax and Randomized. It's been her Randomized several times before, so I think it's going to be her in Randomized going up against it yet again in this race. Both of them coming off of phenomenal grade 1 races or grade 2 races. They've just been full of grade 1s and grade 2s all fall, all last summer. And again, coming in here, looking to kind of having a little bit of redemption as Randomized beat her out last year in this race. I think this year it's all Raging Sea. I think Chad Brown, Flavion Pratt are sitting on a big one. Randomized, yes. Chad Brown gets Joelle Rosario. She's been beat out twice now in Raging Sea in the Latroin. And another race at Saratoga back in August. So this will be her second start off a layoff. But the speed fears don't look to be like what they were when she ran in the Ogden Phipps last year. She's kind of dropped off a little bit. I just don't know if maybe, her 5-year-old season hasn't been the best for randomized. So we'll see if it's just a layoff thing coming in off of that second start off a layoff, if she's just primed, ready to go. I think she's definitely a runner, definitely going to be a contender. She kind of got to go out there and defend her title in this Ogden Phipps. So, but it's just she's running into a really good horse that's beat her already in Raging Sea, who has looked phenomenal and is definitely the class and the one that's in great form. All right, now these turf races are going to be interesting depending on what the weather we get. So race 10, our first graded turf race, we are going 2 miles for 4-year-olds and up. So we are going the distance in here, and these babies are usually wide ass open. Currently, the favorite, probably going to bounce back and forth between Flat and the Curve, the French bred. And number 3, Limited Liability, Claude McGahee, Frankie Dettori. But in these types of races, wild things can happen. We're kind of going to steer clear of some of the lower ends and go with number 5, Anglophile. I know it's not a big price, but 9-2 is really good number right now. Brian Lynch, Javier Castellano, this 5-year-old by English Channel, looked really good in the Man of War. Finished second in there to Farbridge. Was able to beat out some of the other horses that have been ran in here, Padiddle being one of them. Has raced against Limited Liability, Grand Sonata several times, and even Tawny Port. I just think this distance may be a good setup. The horse likes to come from off the pace, likes to save a lot of ground. And I think Javier Castellano will do just that with Anglophile. Definitely a sneaky pick in here. I don't see this horse taking a whole lot of money. We get lucky. We get this around 7 to 8 of 1. That's going to be a pretty good price play if we get lucky. Hopefully nobody else can catch on to this one. And some of the favorites or the French bred or the shippers kind of take some of that money. I really like Anglophile in here. Not a necessarily deep long shot, but there is some value in there to be noted. Main tracks. Grand Sonata, right now it's 6 to 1. Another one that's not a big time price. But we get Irad Ortiz back aboard this horse for Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher seems to be struggling a little bit in some big stakes races, especially on the turf. This one's a big question mark right now, but I gotta like the speed figures that the horse is put on. I like that it's going to sit a little bit early to the pace and have enough late speed or save enough gas left in the tank to go this big 2-mile race. The weather will be the big issue, I guess, depending on what the turf track can do. If we're getting wet turf, are we going to have a firm turf? Are we going to have good turf? The speed figures all should be there and all should hold, depending on what type of turf track that we possibly get. And our big kind of wrench tosser that we're throwing in here is the Ginger Wizard. We are expecting an off track, more than likely. Our other two runners are going to favor speed. The Ginger Wizard comes from Turfway Park, out of an optional non-winners. Definitely going to take a big class up. I like Umberto Rispoli getting this mount for Graham Motion. Graham Motion knows where to really spot these horses. Very interesting. And when they go long. So the horse raced December 7th at Gulfstream Park going 2 miles. I believe it's the Alan Jerkins turf handicap down there. And finished 4th. Not bad. Beat out by Lord Eddard Stark, Utah Beach. Some really good route runners in there. Comes back. Disappointing 9th. Win 1.5 miles. Again, on the turf. Just nothing for it that day. And then goes to Turfway Park. Another 1.5 miles. This was on the synthetic and finished 1st. So, has that turf to synthetic, I guess, route to it. It's been running long all of its career here recently. only has 8 starts for a young 4-year-old. This one, very, very interesting, very, very sneaky. Another one that has some late numbers coming in, that just being able to save some gas. I like that we're just giving Rispoli the mount here. And again, like I said, Graham Motion, just in these route races, he's so sneaky and he always brings value to these types of races. It's going to be a big long shot for sure, but we're going to try to take a stab at this one for sure. Race 11, we have the Grade 1 Acorns for 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and 1/8. And we have probably maybe the heaviest favorite of the weekend in Good Cheer for Brad Cox, Luis Saez. Yes, the Kentucky Oaks winner. She's putting her 7-4-7 career lifetime win streak on the line in here. And there's really not a whole lot that she probably will have to worry about. She looks in great form. Like that they gave her a layoff to kind of point into the Acorn. And holy cow, 7 wins and 7 starts. She's done absolutely nothing wrong. In the Kentucky Oaks, she came from way off of the lead. She was about 8th in there. The Fairground Oaks, the Rachel Alexander, sat a little bit closer to the lead in there and was able to win. So she's kind of done it from both ways. She's done it on a wet track. She's done it on a sloppy track. And of course, she's going to do it on a fast track. So throw whatever you want at this one. Going to be really good in here and definitely going to be a tough horse to beat. If you try to beat her, Bless the Broken, possibly. You got to like this story with Will Walden. Johnny Velasquez is going to get them out yet again. Coming out of the Kentucky Oaks, finished 3rd behind Good Cheer in there, and another one that came from way off the pace. These 2 horses, Bless the Broken and Good Cheer, both going to have some pace to run into, as we have Look Forward, who seems to be an early speed runner who wants to go fast. I think this is a good price value right now on Bless the Broken at 10-1. Does come out of that Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks with Good Cheer. I like that they're keeping Velasquez aboard. Still has been training up to this race, so this one could be very sneaky in here at 10-1, but Good Cheer, rightfully so, is the horse to beat. If you try to beat her, try it with Bless the Broken. Back to turf, 1 mile and 3/16. So we have the New York Grade 1 in here for 4-year-old fillies. Another phenomenal turf race for Belmont at Saratoga. Just looks outstanding. Again, on the card, we have a South African horse in here. Give me another, a British horse with Miwa for Todd Pletcher, who's at a huge price. An Argentina bred, an Edict, at 15-1 for David Donk. Another Irish bred, Beliza, at 8-1. South African bred, Beach Bomb for Graham Motion. Again, that man Graham Motion knows a thing or two in these long turf races. And another heavy favorite is She Feels Pretty. What a phenomenal horse Sherry DeVoe has here. Out of that Grade 3 Modesty, out of the American Oaks, just looks incredible. Has done nothing wrong in her last 3, even 4 starts. Going back to the Lake Placid, she looks on top of her game, and rightfully so, getting 3-5 in here. 3-5. We don't usually see 3-5 on a grass horse or turf horse that's going over a mile. But 3-5 should be something special. She means business. She is definitely the top horse in here. And it's going to be hard to go from, we have Good Cheer to She Feels Pretty. Both of these horses, heavy favorites in back-to-back races. Again, you're trying to beat her. Graham Motion to the inside with Beach Bomb. Very interesting horse with Luis Saez aboard. Last 2 times Luis has been on this horse, he's won at 1 mile and 3/8 and 1.5 miles. One was in the very 1, the Grade 3 at Gulfstream, then the Orchid, another Grade 3 at Gulfstream Park. Has done it at all distances. Has been running really well recently. I like that we get Luis Saez aboard. I love the 10-1 price right now. Definitely the horse that she's going to have to beat is To Her Outside, and She Feels Pretty. And another one to take into consideration, Beliza, the Irish bred horse from Miguel Clement. Flavien Prat gets the leg up here, comes out of the, I believe, Belmont at Aqueduct, a mile and 3/8 grade 3 stakes race. Really good speed figure in there, winning on the card for the late Christophe Clement. So, mad respect for this horse. Hopefully we get Christophe one big win from wherever he may be watching from. This one could be very special on the day and for his connections, or Miguel Clement for his son. And the last stakes race of the day, back to the turf, 1 mile, just a game stakes, another phenomenal turf race in here for 4-year-old fillies. Yet again, this one, probably not as much favoritism as we've seen in some of these other ones, but again, you know, there's some really good horses. And again, it's going to be a great race. I think number 11, Sacred Wish, all the way to the outside. Could be dangerous in here for George Weaver. Johnny Velasquez gets the leg here. Not sure what happened in that Derby. The Distaff Turf Mile at Churchill. I'm just hoping it was a fluke. We can toss that out and she gets back to the Jenny Wiley's. Or even the Matriarch when she picked up a nice win, or even I'll take the Pegasus, where she picked up a good second place. The horse has speed to be dangerous in here. I like her at 12-1. The workout the last time out looked phenomenal stepping into this race. Again, I'm hoping it was just how she came out of the gate. She kind of hopped, brushed the gate, according to the notes. She was 4 wide in the 6th path. Just bad positioning all around. I think this is going to be a better one here. She really doesn't need to sit very close to the lead. She could sit just off the pace. I think the 11 spot will be good for her. And I think Johnny Velasquez will kind of figure things out. And I think she comes out of the gate just as well. 12-1. The horse has really not been 12-1 since she won the Matriarch. So take note. Again, could be special. Could be a big price for Sacred Wish. Now, she will have to go in and beat the Jenny Wiley winner. In Choice A for Simon Crisford. We'll get Luis Saez aboard yet again. That horse picked up a 101 speed figure in that Jenny Wiley. Just looked amazing that day, 6-1. Kind of set off the pace just a little bit and just kind of easily held away into the final stretch. Beat out some excellent horses in here. Excellent Truth, Kehoe Beach. Again, one to the inside of Sacred Wish with a little bit of early speed that can be kind of dangerous. And number 8, Excellent Truth, 5-2, Chad Brown, Flavien Prat. Again, second place in the Jenny Wiley. I think the horse bounces back in here. Just kind of let Choice A get the best of her that day. This will be her second start in the state, so we always see horses kind of pick up on their second start here. So this could be very interesting and a big runner right now at 5-2. But like I said, our long shot, kind of top pick, sticking with Sacred Wish all the way to the outside. So there's our quick handicapping analysis for Friday, June 6th, the Belmont at Saratoga. For the Friday card, 6 fabulous graded stakes races for that card. Hopefully we get some positive weather and hopefully we get some great racing, and we hope for full fields. Well, thanks for watching. Comment down below your best bet for Friday. Turn on your notifications and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We will be posting the Belmont Stakes preview and analysis soon. Enjoy your day, guys.